Alaikum. Sulaiman Rahim here. Breaker of the Seven Seals. Master of the Covenant. Welcome. Let's bring out audio audience. This is the Black Alert segment of the Fire Zone. Welcome. Brothers and sisters, welcome. Again, Sulaiman Rahim here. Brothers and sisters, we open with the Holocaust. That's what we've been experiencing since we set foot on the shores of this continent approximately 500 years ago. Holocaust. Now we see it desperately trying to downplay it. Don't teach our children CRT. First of all, it's not theory. Not theoretical what you did. Why don't you want your children to know about it? You don't want your children to know the beast you are? Is that what it is? Why don't you want your children to know your history? Because you say you're such great people, you've done such great things. Why don't you want your people to know your history? Why is that? It's just the truth. What you did, you treat us like beasts because you're a beast. You fed us shit. If you didn't eat, you forced down our throats. Now I got teeth out, put a phone down my mouth and force down our throats. Shitlings. That's what it is. And now you're saying you want to put distance. But what did you teach our children? What did you teach our children for the last 400 years? Nearly 5 years. What did you teach them? But you don't want your children to be taught the truth. But you didn't hesitate to teach our children lies for the last 500 years. Told them there's animals. There was no good. You were their masters. They had to obey you. You raped them, killed them, murdered them. They was not supposed to retaliate because they were just beasts. They had no conscience, right? No feelings. You raised us up. You started your process from the womb. In your so-called slavery moves, you never showed children because you make it think the children was involved, but we all were children. All the slaves were born here. After 500 years, they were born here. So you started your process in the womb of fear, of terror. Because that's how you maintain a Holocaust, with terror, with absolute terror, 24-hour, 24/7, absolute, unrelenting terror, unceasing terror, day and night, morning and noon, evening, summer, winter, fall, spring, no holidays, constant, every day, no Sunday break, constant, from the womb to the grave. And now you're trying to distance yourself. Maybe it's CRT, maybe it happened, maybe it didn't, right? Theory, no, it happened. We know what you did. And now you're paying for it. Now the judge is on the scene. You're in judgment. And your world is falling apart. And you're going to pay for everything you did. God is not mocked, which means you reap what you sow. If you don't, that means God is mocked. That means you can do evil and get away with it. So we're going to move on, brothers and sisters. I have quite a few things I want to talk about, different subjects. But the Holocaust was not slavery, brothers and sisters. Slavery was a small percentage of it. That's the economic part. Maximum profit, minimum overhead. They had to give you something. So he gave you shitlings. And now you're still eating stuff. Stuff that was thrown away from the hog. They wouldn't eat themselves. He said, well, we ain't got that away anymore. We give them to eat. So it's better shit and piss Because their water wasn't clean they gave us. And they're pissing it on purpose. They do it right now in our face and tell us, you thirsty nigga here. And they piss right in it. That's how much contempt and hatred they have for us. They still have it. They'll be deceived. Does a tiger change can a tiger change its stripe? That's what the scripture asks you. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. So we're going to talk about time lords. Time lord. One second, brothers and sisters. Slight change here. Slight change here. There you go. Brothers and sisters, your understanding of time, well, we have to make sure you have a correct understanding of time. The universe is energy. Energy is just mathematics, pure mathematics, pure and simple. I know it's difficult to understand, but it's just mathematics. How can mathematics be a thing? It's a thing. You see it all around you. Everything came to existence by mathematics. So mathematics is something. Say, well, I mean, I know. See, because you say, well, yeah, they use mathematics to bring. Well, is that correct? So in other words, then if they use mathematics to bring existence, then what is it that math is bringing to existence? What is that thing? Is it operating mathematical principles? So what is it? No, it's just mathematics. Period. You'll understand it one day. So the universe is mathematics. It's energy. Energy is mathematics. It does work on mathematical principles. It's mathematics. Pure mathematics. So when they're doing mathematics, right? What they're doing is they're looking at the creation. When they apply mathematics, they manipulate the creation. So when you're looking at mathematics, you're looking at the creation. Looking at the creator. See, the mind of the creator. See? And we apply it, right? Then you're manipulating the unit, the creation. See? So well, let me go to the next slide here. Okay, everything. So I'm not gonna. Okay, oh, I forgot about it. Let me talk about this first, brothers and sisters. This leads into the subject. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of earth, you understand angel, that means European countries, set themselves and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed. That's us. The Lord, right? The Lord in this case, right, is the Son of Man, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast their cords from us. And I'm talking about so-called hard-cost slavery. So what's happening right now? They say, let us, that means they're preparing to do it. Because they've already done things to us, but this is their plan. Let us break. So that means they haven't broken yet. Broke bands asunder and cast their cords from us. Get them out of here. Get rid of them. Break them to pieces and get rid of them. He that says in heaven shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision. Remember that point, derision. Then shall he speak unto them in his breath, in his wrath, and vex them in his sore displeasure. They're being vexed now. They're in derision. You see it right now. That's what's going on with America specifically. So we don't talk about that because right now they're confused. They don't know who a woman is, right? Everybody don't know who their gender is anymore. Everything's confused, right? They rush headlong into Armageddon, right? And you can see anybody that got any sense say, why are they doing this? This is stupid. They doing it makes no sense. But it makes sense to them because they're in derision. When you're in derision, like a mad person, what they doing makes sense to them. Even though it's crazy to everybody else that's rational, but it makes sense to them. That's why they do it, because it makes sense to them. because their mind is distorted. They have a reprobate mind. That's what happened in America, because that makes sense to them. All this transgender and all the stuff they're doing, and now, right, they spending money on inflation, and now they're trying to get in a fight with Russia and nuclear power, nuclear war, and everything. It makes sense to them because they're in derision. See, he will speak them in his wrath and vex them in his sword of pleasure. They're being vexed. So they argue with each other, confused, because they can't come to agreement. So when you're confused, you can't come to agreement, because the only way you can agree, you have to agree on the basis of reason and rationale. But when that's taken away, there's no way you can agree with someone, because there's no base for agreement. See, actually, all agreement has to be mathematically based, actually. Because if you can't agree that 2 + 3 is 5, then you can't agree on anything. So once you take the mathematics out of the situation, right, there's no agreement possible. You have a situation of chaos. And that's what's happening in America. It's totally confused. Nothing makes sense. Oh, this all makes sense to us, but it makes sense to them because it doesn't. It's irrational. It makes sense. You got a Supreme Court judge. She's a woman. You ask her, "What is a woman?" She can't tell you. Everybody has no problem with that. So this is what they're planning to do. It says, the Lord, right, in heaven shall laugh at them. The Lord shall have them in derision. How is going to have them in derision? We're going to talk about that in a minute. Oh. Excuse me, so like I said, I'm work with this more advanced system I have. Now see, take this as the reality we're living in right now. Now how did this reality come into existence? It came into existence from a mind. It's based on a mind. The mind brought this existence. Not the brain, the mind brought this into existence. Because you can have different software. A brain can have different types of minds. That's why our mind was taken from us. It was given a beast mind. Because your mind is software. So you can have a hardware, you can have a computer, it may run different types of operating systems, it's possible, but the hardware remains the same, but software remains, because you can change the software, maybe not the operating system, but you can change the software, you can add stuff, add apps, whatever, but the hardware doesn't change. Your brain doesn't change, the point is the software. So when they was born into existence, they was given scripture. That's the software. So I try to get everybody to understand, scripture is software. It's software revealed for the time or the period that you're going through, so you can be successful in that period, creating time, moving, transforming time, energy from one form to another. That's what time is. You transform energies from one form to another, but you have a transition period. Because say, for instance, you have a clay model, a soft clay model, right, of an elephant, and you want to change to a horse. Well, then you got to take and decompose the elephant. You got to turn it into nothing, that clay, before you can remold it into a horse. So you get that transition where you got to get rid of the old form, right? And so you disorganize the old form into nothing, right? Into no form, formlessness, and then you take that formlessness and move it, transition to another form. That's time travel. That's moving to time, because you have to take the old, you have to take the current reality and dismount it to bring in a new reality. Because energy is not created, right? And you can't destroy it. So you transfer energy from one form to another. That's what happens. So you have to take the form that it is. If you're going to have a new form, you're going to if you move, in other words, you move in time 2 different ways. You can move in time by taking you still do the same thing, but you have 2 different results. You take and you say, okay, what's the way it is today, right? I'm going to dismantle it, right, and change it, and that's your tomorrow. See, that's your future, because you change what's happening right now to something else. That's how time passes. So now, this way it is now. Second will now be something else. See, so you change the present. By converting the present, that's how you create your future, by changing the present. See? Because if you don't change anything, there's no future. Everything just stays the same. But there's another aspect of that. Say, for instance, you have an elephant, right? See? but you want it to be the same thing tomorrow. See, so you keep on taking that elephant and keep remodeling every day, right? Because you keep on wanting to go in the future. You want to stay an elephant all the time, but if you can't stay in the past with it, you got to move into the future. So you have to dismount it and bring it back to elephant again. Dismount and bring back elephant again. Dismount and bring elephant again. Because you move constantly moving into the future. If you want to keep moving into the future, people that's not moving, don't have a future, are dead. They're in the graveyard. I hope I'm not confusing anybody. So in other words, the future is another way of saying it. The future is a transition from the present, transforming the reality into something else. If you don't transform anything, then there's no time, there's no movement. Everything just stays dormant and everything's just dead. But once you transform it, whatever the transformation is the future. The process is time travel. The process is time travel. The process creates time. See, you understand how time works. You create time by transforming energy in one form or another. If you don't transform anything, there's no time. So you got to think it's Einstein's the time is some kind of fourth dimension. That's all bullshit. Time is not your watch. If your watch stop ticking, right? Does time stop? No. The universe, if it's not moving, it's dormant, then there's no time. But once you start converting energy from one form to another, that is time. See? So what does this all mean? I call it time lords. Now, we take and we constantly create time. So far, we created 76 trillion years of time. Because you see all the stars out there, that's that process that we've done. That we've done. So we create. That's evidence for our creation of time. See, because that stuff didn't get there by itself. So what happens is that it's your mind, your reality reflects the mind you have. Because the mind you have, right, is the base of the process of your creating time. So you're going to create time based on the type of mind you have. So Dr. Yakub gave them mind, right, to create this reality here. This is a flex of their mind. This whole reality, flex of their mind. He could have gave him a different mind, but he gave him this mind, and that mind is the scripture. See, this gets kind of this is complicated. Well, it's not complicated, it's simple once you understand it, but you understand it's complicated. See, because the scripture is your software. That's your mind. And that's the software that shows you how to create time, right, in a particular way. Shows you how to create time, and also in a particular way. So it has both. Shows you how to create time and how to create in a particular way. So it's two processes there. Two things going on there. It's how to create time, right, and how to create in a certain way. So this reality right here, right, is a result of Europeans creating time. See, in this particular way. See, so they was told that they had to be disciplined and follow those scripture. No, they had to upload that software, because scripture is a software. They had to upload it, and then they had to abide by it. See, they had to abide by it. In other words, there was righteousness and discipline. So they had to apply discipline that the book outlines. See, that's the part where I said you have to take and you have to create time, and then what form the nature of the time that you're creating. So it shows you how to create time, right? That's the discipline, right? And then because they have the laws in there, that's the discipline. But then the information, right? That's the form of time that you're creating. You understand? So it's discipline, it's information. Because Scripture has both. It has information and has discipline. That's called righteousness. That's the biblical, it's a word for righteousness, right? Discipline. See, that's the biblical, right? Righteousness is a biblical word for discipline. So you have the law and you have information. So the law gives you, right, shows you how to create time, and information shows you the nature of time to create. See, and that's what scriptures are. It gives you both. See, and the script, and so the information is the best time, the best about because in other words, for the season you're in, it shows you the best time to create for that season. That's why the books are revealed at certain times for different seasons. And we have 4 seasons every 24,000 years, 25,000 years, each 6,000 year period. We just come out of the winter season. Now we're in the spring season, we're in the spring thaw. That's why I call Master Muhammad the God, the Lord of the Dawn, because he's the dawn of the new season. He's the God of this season. Every season has a God that steps one of the scientists steps forward. He's God that season. Dr. Yaqub was a God of 6,000 years ago. He set up. He didn't live the whole time, but he set up. So he gave a mind and everything that people needed, right, for that 6,000 year period. Now, Master Muhammad, he's given this 6,000 year period, and he's going to supply the mind and everything you need, right, for this period. He's going to make all things new. Hope I explained that clearly enough, brothers and sisters. See, because we don't understand those things, and we think some Jesus, some special stuff just happened. No, it don't happen. We have to make it happen. So what's the point of what I'm saying? See, you look at all these military, the Bible and probably tell you, don't worry about other, you look at all this military stuff, you got these fools out here, demons, they're going to war with America, these demons, these Christian blacks. They're not us. They're their seed. They're the chaff. They're not us. See, they're skin folk, they're not kinfolk. They're black folks devils. They're black face devils. See, so they're going to look at this opportunity because America's in a tailspin. They're going to take this opportunity to take over the country. See, because they want the same reality that we're in right now. They want the same reality. They just want control of it. See, so they want to create the same type of time that their fathers did. See, their Caucasian fathers, Caucasian father. They want to create the same time, right? The same, well, they might not necessarily want to follow discipline, because that's one of the problems America's right now. See, because they've departed from the discipline. Discipline is what gives you power. I'm not going to tell you. There's a lot of stuff I can cover here, brothers and sisters. I don't want to get bogged down, but you have energy, and energy can take the form of power if you apply discipline to it. Like you can have money, but you can either invest that money or you can blow it. You invest it, then you empower it. So you empower your energy by discipline. That's what scriptures tell you, follow discipline. See, America's departed from that. I mean, they wasn't really with it that much anyway, but they've departed from almost totally now. So therefore, all their power is gone. They don't realize, because they have faith in the military. We're going to talk about it in a minute. See, so their power is gone. See, but anyway, these demons, they want to go and take advantage. They want the same. See, and they may or may not want to apply the discipline, but they want the same outcome. See, you understand? Same vision that the sealed Bible gives them. Their understanding of the sealed Bible, put it like that. Because the Bible, you have the sealed version, unsealed version. The unsealed version would not be unsealed until the Lamb came and broke the 7 seals, and then the whole Bible is under a veil now. Then it'd be unsealed, and then we understand what it's really saying. It's a whole new, because that's software. That's our software. That's software for the seed of Abraham. That's the new software, right? That's your restoration of your mind. Because it said your mind has been restored. Your mind was taken from you. I tell you, that's what scriptures are. There's software for you, because that's the software to get through this time of unprecedented trouble. That's a software to get you a time of unprecedented trouble, right? Not the Quran. The Quran had its purpose, but remember I said these books are revealed for to give you the mind to handle a certain period of time, software for it. And then you have to upgrade, right? When a new software comes along, if you can upload it, because the devils, they can't upload the angel. See, that it won't run on your hardware. See, so they can't get into the new world unless they, well, that's no straw together. You understand? But so the Quran is software for 1,500 years ago, and it ran for 1,000 years. It ran successfully for 1,000 years, and now it fails. It's been failing for 500 years, but they still trying to hold on to us. So let them have at it. See, you understand? So then they got Message Black Man. And they think, oh, well, there's a lot of things in Message Black Man, see, that are incorrect. Not taking anything from Elijah Muhammad, because there's things that I could point out. Because he wasn't a God, he wasn't a scientist, he was just a messenger. And Master Muhammad didn't tell him everything. They tell him he's a terror leader of the Nation of Islam. I was with him from 70 to 75. He never said anything close to that. All he said was a messenger. That's it, period. He was he was Master Muhammad's messenger. He's all this, all that. The lessons tell you he didn't even get the lessons right in the presence of Master Muhammad. It says in his presence, he's being taught face to face. He still didn't get the lessons right. It says he got nearly correct. I was there. See, he used to teach that Armageddon was going to take place in the 1970s. Why don't Farrakhan tell that? Because he was around then. He knows that's what they taught. See? But not take away from it. The man's a messenger. He did his job 100% right. But he studied, and that's what he came with. But you can't take that away from him, right? Because he didn't break the seals, so he wouldn't have a full understanding. And if he had a full understanding, there would be no need for the messenger of the covenant who was selling come to his temple. He said the one coming after him, he's John. He said when Jesus approached him, he didn't want to deal with Jesus. He said, I can't deal with you. He said, you're too much for me. I'm not even worthy to shine your shoes. Jesus insisted. But they don't want to talk those things, so we're not worried about them. Because, like I said, we closed the book on Farrakhan. He's only got a few more days left. But what I'm saying, these demons, see, they want to take, they think they're going to war with America. It's going to be a 5-month war. It's going to be happening. It's going to start pretty soon. Because see, they're getting angry right now. And the so-called demon crabs really got them going. But they want to take this by force. And the reality will be taken by force. Because everything that happens by force. Everything happens. What kind of force? They want to go like the military with guns and stuff. First of all, it's kind of stupid to begin with on the surface. Because who got the guns? Who makes the guns? They don't. They go back to the man and say, give me some more bullets so I can shoot you. We don't get the guns from. We don't get the ammunition. They're going to do it anyway. They're going to try to convince us to go along with them. That's what the fictional company going to finally be done with them. But they want to take them out militarily, basically. That's the basic understanding. And that doesn't work. Because you want to take down this reality. See, remember, well, actually, in a way, I mean, it does work for them because they don't really want to take down this reality. They just want control of it. So I guess that makes sense for them. Take it militarily because they don't want to really destroy it. See, they want control. They don't want to destroy America. They want control of it. They want America to stay just like it is. They just want control of it. See? But it says, the God and Suleiman, they want to get rid of it. They want a new reality. I'm going to make all things new. See? And you can't do that militarily. See? You have to do that mentally. You have to destroy their mind. Because it's the mind that's the root of this thing. Because as long as that mind exists, it can bring the reality back in again. You have to destroy the mind. And you don't destroy that militarily. You don't blow their brains out. Right? They tell you the ideas come. There's nothing more powerful than idea that's come. So what you have to do is you have to destroy the idea. Because the idea it's not their nuclear weapons that you have to fear. It's the mind that built those nuclear weapons. It's the mind that will use those nuclear weapons. It's the mind that caused this reality to come into existence. You have to understand that that's what
That's why it says he would destroy them. He go to the root, destroy them at the root. See? Because you have destroyed the idea, the mindset, the software, right, that generate this reality. And that software, that's the sealed Bible that Dr. Yakub gave them. See? But then you got the angel, it's more powerful. Because remember, this is still force. And force is just pressure. Force and pressure is the same thing. It's just spread out. Right? I need to say it because some people get mixed up on that one. See, for instance, you got a pole, a broomstick. That broomstick weighs a ton, 1,000 pounds, right? And you got to stand it right up on your floor. It's probably going to punch a hole through that floor. Because you put all that weight on one little spot. It's going to probably punch a hole right through it, right? But if you take that and spread it out, change it from a broom into like a flat square or something, then no, because you spread that force across the floor, so now it has better ability to hold, because you're not putting all that force in one spot. You spread it around. That's the difference between force and pressure. That's the only difference. You spread it out. That's what we mean by that. See, you spread it out. That's why bulletproof vests work, because when the bullet hits, the way the material is made, it takes the force and spreads it out. You still feel the force, you just don't feel it in one spot where it penetrates your body. But it knock you down, you still get the force, you just don't get it in one spot. So it don't penetrate, you get it spread all over your body, so it knock you down, but it won't kill you. You see, that's the science behind it. So what's the point here? Thought, remember, thought, your mind, that's what you think. You have a brain, but your thought is based on your mind. See, like your computer. You have a computer, you got hardware, but if you have no software, it's just going to sit there. See? So the thinking is with the software, not with the hardware. You understand? So the hardware is where the think, it houses the mind. That's where thinking takes place with software. So the type of software you have depends on how you're going to think. Just like you got a person that speaks English, Spanish, they might be identical twins, have the same hardware, but they think differently because one is thinking in Spanish, one thinking in English. It's still the same, it's the same one thinking differently because they got different software. And language is part of your software. So that's the software they have. And that software was good for them because their hardware could upload it. See? So, and that software is what brought this reality in. This reality is based on that software, right? And that software is the sealed Bible, because that's what the scriptures are. There's software. There's software. See, there's software, right? Uploaded, right? Like I said, it's used to take, because it has two parts of it. It has the discipline part, the laws, has the information part, which the laws give you the power to start creating time, but you have to have a direction, like you have to have a compass, like you have a car, right? And you have a steering wheel, right? You need both, right? You need engine and steering wheel. Because you just got an engine, you're going, right? You got a steering wheel, then you can guide it. See, so that's what it is. So the scripture, the information tells them how to, what reality to do, and the engine gives them the power to do it. Understand that. So that's what we have with the AL-INJIL. It gives the 5 fundamental pillars of Islam, right? That's the engine. And all the information, right? Is not to build the hereafter. That's not that. That's why the AL-INJIL is not to do that. AL-INJIL is the book of Revelation, just get you this time unprecedented trouble. That's the book. There's no other book that will do that. That book and Daniel is adjunct into that book. Both are sealed. And they both work together because chapter 13 of Revelation is the 13th chapter of Daniel. Daniel's only had 12 chapters, but the 13th chapter of the AL-INJIL Revelation has the same symbols that you have in Daniel. So you're connected. They're connected right there. So both two books work together, right? And they supplement each other. They complement each other, right? Okay. me check something out. We gotta do something here, brothers and sisters. Give me just a second here. Okay. I don't want to spend 5 hours here, brothers and sisters. I have to give myself some time here. So that's how it says, who was like the beast, who could make war with the beast? The only one, they said, because the only one could do that is the lamb, because it tell you in chapter 17 that these kings would make war with the lamb and lamb overcome them. So that shows you that's the beast it's talking about. See? So he's the only one who could do it. He's also he's one that he's a miracle worker. He's the only one that could destroy the beast. He's the only one who could break the 7 seals. He's the only one who could raise Lazarus. But once he accomplished these things, right? Because he's a 25th scientist, he's the only one who can do these things. Once he does that, then he turns everything over to 24 scientists, because he very seldom ever rules a season. He always stays in the background. See, Elijah Muhammad told about that. He says he's a hermit. He stays in the background. 73 years he stays in the background. He says like he encloses himself in triple darkness. See. So the scientists know who he is, but the general public don't know. He lives amongst the public, but they don't know who he is. And Elijah Muhammad said, if someone kind of like pick up a vibe and think that they recognize him, he snatched the idea out of their mind, except for this period of time. So he would come out and expose himself, because this time unprecedented trouble was the unprecedented scientists that would take, because who's like this beast, who can make war with the beast? No other beast could do it. Say, well, match for Muhammad. Well, remember what I said now. He could take him down militarily, but he can't take him down software. Can't take him down there. That's why it says no one could break those seals but the Lamb, Son of Man, or Suleiman, the Lamb, because that's the mind that will destroy their mind. See, because Muhammad said, they would rule until another was born that came into our line. They had a mind, right, that could destroy their mind. That's what's happening, brothers. You have to destroy their mind. And that's what we see right now, because you see all these things happening around you. You understand the process, because when you start doing that, means you start, because that's why you look on a military level like, man, we don't have no army, man, and we in defeat. No, that ain't the way it's going to go down. It's already going down. It's been going down since 1990. It says their whole world is in division. They're getting more confused every day. Look, everything's falling apart. The economy, politics, military, everything is falling apart. Because you have why? Why is their reality under stress? Because it has to be under stress by another reality. Another reality is coming in. And that's what's putting it under stress. It's putting it under stress. And it's under stress to some point where it gets to the threshold point where it just crumbles. Can't, like you put enough pressure on something, you keep on, it might slip like it's okay. And then reach a certain threshold, which is like water. Right? I think it's 212 degrees, right? I believe it's 212 degrees. It has to be then it changes, threshold effect. So I mean, automatically starts boiling, turns into steam. Because it can't stay in water. 212 degrees, it can't stay in water anymore. It has to transform into something else. Just like a diamond, putting enough pressure on it, and it just looked like you look at a piece of coal, and you sit there and you said, what, millions of years, look at it, it's just sitting there. And then once the pressure gets to a certain point, right, it's infused into that coal, it gets instantly it turns to a diamond. Damn, it's like overnight, like and instantly. But you watch for a million years, all of a sudden, bam. See? And that's what's happening, because it's telling you, if you read this, the 7 seals, it's telling you every time you open a seal, things happen. See, because I said, what's based this? It's a mind. That means mind. That means thought. Thought is pressure. Thought is pressure. Thought is force. And so and then pressure yields to greater pressure. Pressure always yields to greater pressure. Ounce of high pressure will defeat 1,000,000,000 tons of low pressure. You say, how is it? Well, that's just the way it works. Don't take my word for it. Do the math. If you take a stone, say a big old stone, and throw it into the ocean is not going to crush that stone. The stone's going to ripple, and that ripple is going to spread all the way out through the whole ocean. It's going to get weaker and weaker as it goes, but it's going to keep on going till it gets to the end of the ocean. It might be real weak when it gets there, but it's going to go all the way. That vibration will go all the way, because that stone caused the ocean to move. Caused the whole ocean to move. But the ocean caused the stone to move. That's why God only always sent one messenger, one prophet, or one angel, just need one, with high pressure, higher pressure than a higher thought power, than the thought power of that civilization he sent them to. And they always defeat them. Because thought is pressure, and higher pressure defeats lower pressure. So the angel is high. I call it atom, A-T-T-O-M, atom bombs, because the pressure is greater than any bomb. It's the greatest. I'm holding on to that one because we got 2 times in history very critical. That's at the beginning and the end. The universe is like a heartbeat, just constantly beating, constantly, right? Forever. It's always done it, always will do it. That might be hard for you, some of you understand, because you got to think, well, there had to be a beginning. No, there wasn't a beginning. Because at the beginning, there would be an end, and we would never even be here to begin with, right? Because if you ask yourself, well, there's a beginning, then you have to ask yourself a question, what's the beginning? Right? Because if there was a beginning, that means that there had to be something before it. Otherwise, if there was nothing, then nothing come out of nothing. So if you say there was a beginning, then you say what initiated the beginning? Then you say what initiated that one? So you can see you got a paradox there, you get forever. So there was no beginning. And I know it's difficult. The finite mind has a hard time with that one. I have a hard time, but I just leave it alone. Because I mean, why you want? I mean, that's it. That's the reality of it. It's always existed. Just like the universe being, they call it universe, just one of them. They got all this stuff, multi-universe. That's like energy being mathematics. That's hard to deal with too, but it is. That's why you got to get your mind back. Because you knew all this stuff. This stuff was basic stuff for you 50,000 years ago. Because you put everything up there, out there, that's up there, out there. So everything that was created, we created. It's about us. That's not one person. We did it. That's because we're like the body of Christ, what the Christians call it. We're one body. Right? And Suleiman is just the top brain cell. The scientists are the next level of brain cells. That's all that is. We're all brothers and sisters. That's part of the reason why I have to be present to get that message across, because they got this divinity thing going. People walk on water, got halos around their head, all kinds of angels and wings. You see anything like that here? All you see is your brothers, like that's Master I told you. He says, he says, we're his uncle and aunt. Try to get you back down to earth. That's crazy stuff. I'm going to heaven so I can watch Jesus all eternity and all this stupid stuff. Brother, you the gods. The only difference between us is based on knowledge, actually. Knowledge and attributes, in other words, right? The difference between, my heart and my lung cell, they're still part of me. And they still basically have the same construction, but there's a slight difference, right? But it's still part of me. And that's where we are. We have a slight difference. So some of us are heart cells, some are lung cells, some are eye cells, but we all one part of a body. And one cell doesn't, the brain cell say, hey man, I don't like my butt cell, right? And the butt cell look back and say, okay, I got something for your behind. You're behind. Anyway, brothers and sisters, I'm kind of taking time at this point here, because I want you to see that that's what's happening. The angel, once it was released, right, that put vibrations. Remember, because you put pressure. It's all about pressure. Holy reality is pressure. So you put greater thoughts out. So, say for instance, I tell a person, I say, hey man, I tell him something. And he might disagree with me. He may totally be vehemently disagree with me, but he still heard it, and it still affect the way he thinks. It's going to affect the way he thinks. It may be depend on how much. That's why you got to study vectors. It may affect maybe a vector at point, a direct vector, or maybe at an angle or whatever. It's still going to affect it. It's going to affect the way he thinks. That means when he go talk to the next person, right? My thought is going to be mixed in with he said, even though he don't realize it. It's going to have effect on the way he talks to the next person. He might not mention me at all. He might even thinking about me. But the point is, it's like water, right? You put if you mix up this a little bit, right? But you don't notice it, but it's still change it a little bit because you put something else in. You put a little sugar in it. Maybe you got a whole gallon of water, right? And you put just a little pinch of sugar in it. Well, it's not all water anymore, but you might not know. You might even taste the sugar, but it's still affected. See. Then somebody down there, maybe they may be hypersensitive to sugar, and they know they got sugar diabetes. I mean, I'm not exaggerating, but you understand what I'm saying. It didn't affect anybody else, but it affected that person because they had it's sugar, and they didn't know sugar was in the water because nobody detected it, but it was there. And same thing, when you talking to somebody, you put like a little sugar in, right? So they're going to talk to someone else, and it's going to have a way, it's going to have an effect on the way to talk to the other person. Maybe a direct or indirect. They might even notice it. And that's going to go on to the next person. So you're influencing things. See? You're influencing things. See? And it takes time for that thing comes into form where you can actually see the effect that you're having. Because you just keep on doing it. That's what the whole story about Jericho. It was affecting the walls, but nobody could see that it was affecting the walls. But then after it built up, the resistance built up so much, all of a sudden the walls come coming down. That's where it said would be. See, that's why masters of prophecy come. They keep saying the same thing. They're giving that truth, which is more powerful than the truth of the day. So it displaces the truth of the day. It displaces that reality, brings a new reality. So I think we'll leave it there on that one. See, but that's what's happening. You know, I said I was going to give a. Now I don't want to go ahead now. I was going to. I think you understand it. You don't understand this process. I mean, I'm not saying that, you know, I'm the best explainer of things, right? Right? But I'm pretty good at breaking things down a simple way. But I'm just not a good communicator. And that's one reason why I don't talk to anybody. You know, I did more talking since I've been talking about the injury now all my entire life. Because everybody knows me, but I don't talk about anything. But I had to reinvent myself, brother, because I got to get this information out. Because if it was up to me, I would just be back triple darkness, just studying. That's what I do. I had no experience of talking. And I have to already moderate myself. I have to talk fast, and I go back and look at myself. I don't talk so fast. I'm trying to get that under control. So I'm going to show you a little thing here, trying to get a little visual example here, graphic example here. And see, this is America. This is a state of America right here, right? This is present reality. So this reality has to go. I'm saying America is going to be nuclear. It's not going to be a nuclear war, but America is going to be nuclear. I'm just kind of, you know, a little dramatic here, right? Let me show you what's possible. So you got to take out that old reality, right? You nuke it, but I'm not saying nuke with nuclear bomb. I'm saying nuke it because that's what happens. You destroy it. So I'm just using that example of you destroying it because that's what America is being destroyed. Itself just coming apart. So it's basically like it's being nuked mentally. Right? Taken out of existence. At the root, the mind, the whole concept is all this capitalism and all this, like I said, slavery, trying to downplay slavery. It's really a Holocaust. And when you look at it, Holocaust is a quick way to explain that, right? So that overrides that BS that talking slavery, because when you look at it properly, if you look at it briefly, you know that was really a Holocaust. That destroyed the idea. Then democracy, think about that and say, and that destroys that idea, capitalism, because capitalism is what enslaved us. Capitalism was enslaved and impoverished the whole world. When you look at it properly, you see, it was a bad idea, but to that point, for their time, and at the time they had, the time it's ruling, that was a good idea. It was the best idea at the time. They were getting power to rule. But now you look at it right now, and say, that was bad. Those are ideas, when you look at it, actually, those bad. That means they go and they're going to be totally destroyed. It's like you had ideas before. Capitalism had ideas, people man, and all those ideas are gone now. They don't, nobody thinks about those things anymore. Okay, so now our existence, then what? See? Make all things new. See? That's it. God will make all things new. The God of this season. Master Muhammad is the God of this season. I said he's going to be given this. It says he comes to Ancient of Days, and he's a, so if he's not the Ancient of Days, he doesn't have lamb wool's hair. He's not Farrakhan. So who is this person that's given it to him, Master Muhammad? He's coming in his ships, and he's coming to the Ancient of Days, Ancient Days, who has elderly person, white, gray, nappy hair. He gives it to him. But at that time, he also, they said the beast was destroyed. That means he was the one that was taken down because who could make war with the beast? Who could destroy the beast? Because he destroyed him not militarily. He destroyed his whole ideas, his whole concept, reality. That means he's totally wiped out. The whole mindset is destroyed. That's what destroyed him at the root. And then he raised Lazarus. And then he broke the seal. He opened the book. That means he broke the seals. All three of them right there. So the book's open. That means he broke the seals, right? He said the beast was destroyed. He destroyed the beast. And then he had 10 million millions mention him. That means he raised Lazarus. He dealt, and then he gave all to Master Muhammad, the God of this age. The new age coming in. You understand, boss? I want to show you that. Now I want to switch gears here. Elijah Farrakhan. And why me waste time talking about him? Because he's toast. He's toast. Looks closed on him. But this is just to give those people a chance, right, to get out the way. Because fireworks is coming. Ain't no guns and stuff. Fireworks coming. He's gonna be taken out from within. Some people are caught in the crossfire. He's gonna be taken out within. That's what it says. Son of addition, who the Lord will consume, spirit of his mouth. See, he's destroying with pressure, high pressure thoughts, higher pressure thought. Say consume him, consume with the spirit of his mouth, not with guns. Not with knives, more powerful, because the angel is the most powerful weapon on the planet right now. The crown was the most powerful weapon on the planet 1,400 years ago. The most powerful weapon nobody could stand. Well, it was, people in Genghis Khan went up against it, right? See, but he eventually got defeated, right? But the point is, the crown was the ultimate weapon 1,500 years ago. Just like for the last 500 years, the sealed Bible is the ultimate weapon. It tells you in Genesis, right, that it had the crown was the lesser light and the Bible was the greater light. But I'm not going to go into that right now. Explain that. But when they went back, why did Master Muhammad say Christianity is 551 years old? Because that wasn't Christianity they was believing back then before that. That was Catholicism, which is not Christianity. That's what they call it, Roman Catholicism, because there was a mixture of. They pretty much mixed shit with honey, put it like that. They took this Bible and they mixed it with Roman concept ideology. So that wasn't Christianity. But when they adopted Christianity, at least their form of Christianity, when they came out of the Dark Ages, right, the bottomless pit, which you see in chapter 20, right, they adopted that because that was their strength. You know, so you have to have discipline. So when they start following that discipline that was in there, they gained their power back. And no one was able to withstand, like the Quran, nothing. All these religions, Sunni Islam stuff, fell before they fell, right? They demolished all of them. They put them all in subjection, all of them all to their knees, because they was all philosophies. Sunniism is a philosophy. That's not what Prophet Muhammad taught. See, it's philosophy. So they all fell before Master Mass, but Master Mass is reality. All of them. They put all in subjection. Adam put all of them down. And only one went against Adam was the one that went against Adam was the jinn. That's the Sunni. Because they weren't going to accept it. They weren't going to do anything that Adam said. They weren't going to follow Adam. We submitted, but they didn't. They the jinn. I'll talk about that another time. They the jinn. Because everybody, they say, I'm not going to obey They're the only people in the world, right, that totally resist European control, European culture. Only people on the planet that does it. They're the ones that will not submit to Adam. I mean, I sympathize with some mistakes. So why would you want to submit to somebody who's going to make men shed blood? But that's what they was told to do, and they refused to do it. They did it. I'm not just saying that they are. So then we get this Elijah Farrakhan thing. Now we told Son of Perdition would overcome the saints for 42 years with his mouth, the mouth. But Vast Farrakhan's only attribute he's known by Aaron is the mouth. He's a big liar. He's only known his mouth. He hasn't produced anything. He's deceived people. Right? Am I getting... He deceived, okay. He deceived the people, right? He's the son of perdition. He follows the devil. Just Google it. Follows the devil. That means he's a demon. So how the hell can be your Messiah? Just Google him. It follows him the devil. First one caught. Get a picture of him in the Bible. See? He never revealed that to Elijah Muhammad. He would never got to first base. But I'm gonna say a few things here, because he's saying things like, see, because this clown's last Sunday, man, they always make a fool of themselves. Ishmael, see? And let me say one quick thing on that. You know, they get talking, oh, Elijah, that's marriage is black. And first of all, a lot of things, like my Torah ain't in the mess with black man. They ain't involved in America. They ain't none of that. I was there. Do you know anything about the tyrant? All you so-called know it all. Do you know who the tyrant is? Message talk about the tyrant. He called him the tyrant. That's the best name. That's the only name I heard him give. Say, he called him the tyrant. And that's who you all gonna end up with. So you better find that somewhere. You better find this back, because that's what you'll end up with. That's what Ishmael. He's not a demon, so he's not a demon. And demons gonna be wiped out. That's their fate. They're not gonna get out of America. They don't want to stay. They want to stay. They're gonna stay here. And they're gonna go to war like they plan to do. They're gonna be wiped out. The war gonna last 5 months. They're gonna be it's gonna civil war between them and their daddies. It says in Mark, right? Between them and their swine daddies, they said, "No, please, please." That's legend. Louis Eugene Grounds NOI backwards. That's Farrakhan. Louis Eugene. He says last name wasn't Grounds. Well, I'm not gonna argue with him, but whatever you call it. But his name is Louis Eugene, right? His name is really, his mother's maiden name was Grounds. Louis Eugene Grounds NOI backwards. They went back and started messing with that stuff on Google. Because when I found it out and put it out there, it was saying one thing, went back. But they still ain't changed all the way. Anyway. But it's Louis Eugene Ground NY backwards. You can't make that up. That's Legion. He's a chief demon. See? And he said, please don't make me leave the country. But he had a faction in there of the demon-possessed people that wanted to go with Suleiman, wanted to go with Jesus or Josh, wanted to go with him. See? That was saying they're going to be taken down from within because they tired of him. But he tried to stop it. But when he finally couldn't stop it, he said, no, well, please make me leave the country. Then he said, I want to stay with my devil man, my swine daddies. So they said, okay, you go over there with them. And then they got to fight him off the cliff together. So they're going to fight him. So we're not going to be here for that. But he can't believe his luck, man, because he's a demon. He got control. I mean, that's like a black person, right? That's got white skin, right? And he they don't know he's black, right? And so he ended up being in control of KKK. How do you think that's gonna turn out? How do you think that's gonna work out? He can't believe his luck. If you're doing things contrary, but maybe that's his new way, man. I mean, just sound like what he's doing is kind of strange. See, because Farrakhan, everything he's doing is totally against Elijah Muhammad, totally against everything in life. He don't build anything. He just enrich himself. Islam has no assets, right? He just lied. We got a constant lying. We got proofy lying. We got tapes, right? We got Elijah Muhammad calling him a liar. Elijah Muhammad said, we'd be a fool to stay in the land of our imprisonment. Farrakhan said, no, we're going to stay here. Muhammad said, that's the person we come here to get us out of here. That's, And in fact, we ain't going anywhere. I mean, come on. But let's talk about a couple things and I'll move on with this. Because I mean, that's what I'm doing here. I felt wasn't even bothered with this, but you know, I know people that's in there that ain't with him, and I agree with that. Some say, I said, well, you know, dirty water's better than no water, and they said I'd rather be in with Farrakhan than be hanging out on the street. So I'm just giving them cover to get out of the way. Of course, things about to blow up in a minute. Better be Exodus. Well, he's going down fast, real quick. And we ain't talking about months from now either. So I'm just trying to give you a little heads up. He says he wants to bring devils in NOI. We got the tape saying it. Ross tries the Donahue thing, look at me, he says, well, so if he brings devils in NOI, what happened to the lesson says that caused them to skunk the planet Earth? And they're going to have them recite that? You're going to have devils recite that they are, oh, I'm the skunk of the planet Earth. Is that how you're going to do that? Well, they have to get rid of those lessons. Think about it. Because they got to recite that stuff to get your ass, right? So he's ain't going to bring them in. So they got to get rid of Master Muhammad's secret. I mean, he says he's with Elijah Muhammad. He says he's preaching Elijah Muhammad's teaching. He says he got the lessons. Oh, Ishmael said, we got the mathematics of the lessons. I don't know what kind of mathematics he's talking about. I know he's lying. I know he don't know the mathematics of the lessons. Okay. So if he bring him in, right? Okay. Now what about the interracial marriage? The message said he thinks he wants interracial marriage, right? Outlawed. But if they bring him in, wouldn't that be your brother or sister? So you're going to tell one FOI you can't marry that MGT? Is that what you're going to do? You know, I ain't going to do that. You already got that going because you got this Mexican. He's married to a black woman. She might be a demon, I don't know, but he's married to one in there. He calls himself FOI, which is a blasphemy, abomination. But first of all, he's a white boy. He just got some Spanish in him. He's a white boy. Because when the Spanish, those people over here in Mexico, I ain't knocking. Well, they can take it the way they want to take it. I look out for my people. You got because they don't come over here saying, "Boy, y'all help those black people. Let's look out for black people." When do you see them do that? They were slave owners themselves. See, so you gonna tell me this bullshit. When they came, Mexicans bring the Spanish and bring their women. They didn't bring their women over here. They didn't bring their women over here. They came over by themselves. And those people as dark as me or darker, when they came over here, we're no light-skinned people over here. We're not one. Unless he was albino or something, I don't think he even had that. That's the affliction they have. That's the result. That comes out of that's the what side effects of Yaku's process. But these people over here didn't go through that. So you see these light ones, that's because they got light because they're really Spanish people. Mixed with the native population. The light ones, because they treat the dark ones over there in Mexico really bad. You got dark skin, just like in Hawaii. You got the real Hawaiians, they got nappy hair. Go look it up. The princess that was in charge of Hawaii, when they took it, she had nappy hair, beautiful woman. Nappy hair and everything, because they was original. But I've been in Hawaii, I lived in Hawaii for 6 months, and the original people, they came on an island someplace. The ones you see are Polynesians, they mix with Chinese and Filipino thereabouts. They're not the original Hawaiians. The original Hawaiians, and they still got them out there, but you don't see them in news anywhere. You're like in Japan, you got original people in Japan. I saw a picture right there. One of the generals in World War II was a black man. You probably still can Google it. I mean, I just send a picture to you. He was talking to other generals. See, those people get mixed. See, Master Muhammad, the point is, if you study AL-INJIL, AL-INJIL backs up. Elijah Muhammad said the people that operate the wheel are Japanese. That's where the wheel was made. He said he made it off the coast of Japan. And he said he chose Japanese scientists to be the ones that run the wheel. See? And another thing too, when Master Muhammad came, people don't know, he said it came by itself. That's not, you don't understand what he meant. Because the Master tells us that he had 7 partners with him. And all they did was just guard him the whole time he was here. When he said it came by itself, he didn't mean that he had somebody to help him in a way, right? he meant that he came, but he has gods with him. He has 7 gods with him. And Elijah Muhammad, he insinuated he met a couple of them when he was in the hospital, but I'm not going there because I don't know. I didn't get the whole story. But when the minister Minister Yushai told us something to that effect, and I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said, I think the message said, I mean, it's been a long time ago, but it's about, what, 40, 50 years ago? I think, I don't want to say it, but I can't say exactly right, but I think the message did say that when he was in the hospital, he said one of the companions, or I forgot what he called him, came in visit and watched him, make sure they messed with him. They didn't help him, they left Farrakhan, did they? They left Farrakhan, stick them bullets up his ass and burn him up. He didn't have no hope, did he? So he wasn't protected, was he? Because he's a liar. He's cursed, like I said in Malachi. He's cursed with a curse because he's robbed his whole nation. It said, who is robbing the nation? It says you have robbed the whole nation. Who is Elijah? Didn't rob the nation. Elijah Muhammad put all the money. When he left, all the money was in the nation. That's why they got mad, because they couldn't get at it. Matter of fact, Muhammad sure didn't rob it. So who's robbing it? Farrakhan do stamp them. He's rich. They say he's millionaire, but the nation doesn't have no assets. So if he died, something happens. They close the place up. But all the money was coming. He was asking for money for the nation, wasn't he? Did he ask for money for himself personally? No. So why he got so rich then? So think about that. So he bring devils in. They got to get rid of lessons. And now the marriage class, so you already got that going. So most of those Mexicans, they're light-skinned ones, they're really Spanish people. Just like in Guam. You go to Guam, when you go to Guam, all those people there, none of them are Guamanians. You see the original, they had pictures of the original Guamanians, they were dark-skinned with nappy hair. But the ones there now ain't like that. Because when the Spanish went there, they literally killed all the males. I mean, I don't care if you was a baby or what, you were a toddler or what, they killed every male, every one. And then they took and raped the women, and now that's what you got there. They're Spanish people. They're dark-skinned Spanish people. And same thing you got right in Mexico. So he got devils in there already. See? But not just him, he got real pure devils in there. Not just the Mexican ones. So how does that add up with the lessons? Well, we can't get along with them peace. Measure said no racial marriage, all that kind of stuff. See? The man carries the seed. So he's not poisoning the nation's numbers. That's get fundamentals of life Muhammad taught. Matter of fact, Muhammad said they was impossible to live with. He said to get rid of all of them. The Farrakhan said he's going to heal them. Remember, he got rid of the archives. Why? Because he's been saying for years he's going to heal America. America and Nineveh. He even said when Trump was in there, he was going to convince Trump to repent. I said, boy, that boy, I don't know what the hell he's smoking, boy, but damn, shoo. It's some powerful shit. So just take those couple of things. Then as far as the devil, what about that? What about the math behind that, the biology behind that? Forget about this one black, God blood makes you black. It might be black, don't make you original. It makes you, right? Because it says half of the nation of Islam, I mean half of the blacks in America are demons. They're skin folk. Half is original. And that's why Muhammad's original. So we don't care about his skin tone, we care about his nature. And you are the sperm. That was you. You wasn't the egg, you was the sperm. You use egg as material you use to build, to prepare yourself to get outside the womb. But you was the sperm. And if you came from a devil, you a devil. So I'm not going to dwell on this too much, right? But Farrakhan's an absolute liar. It tells you he's a liar. He's an absolute liar, right? He's son of addition. He's Aaron. They don't read the whole thing. They tell you Exodus. They try to tell you that's history. Elijah Muhammad told you that prophecy. They write future history. He told you. They write it. So they're not writing past history. So that means if you read the scriptures, you're talking about things happening right now or things going to happen. When you read the scriptures, you're supposed to be talking about things happening right now or it's going to happen. But they tell you, no. Elijah Muhammad says, no, though he write future history, not past history. That's a lie in itself right there. So in other words, when you look at it, they tell, oh, that's past history. Obviously, Farrakhan wants you, why would he benefit from you looking at Exodus in present or looking at the future? Because he wouldn't benefit from that. because he's asked to be out on the street. Because you say, well, he must be Aaron, because that's the one that came after Elijah to see the people. He didn't produce anything. Turn the hearts back to Egypt. Having good work from the golden calf, which is Sunnism. You understand, brothers and sisters? And he says he didn't want to go anywhere. But that was the whole thing about the mission of Abraham covenant. He said, well, that don't belong to us. But then he says the first part of it. But he doesn't say the second part, the part where we suffer. But he said the part, he doesn't read, why don't he read the whole thing? The whole thing says, right, after that 40 years, there'd be a plague that would kill the firstborn, which is the elderly, and pass of us, which it has. So why is he wearing a mask? Why are you wearing a mask, Farrakhan? Because it's supposed to pass over the original people, because the World Health Organization published a paper about 2 or 3 months ago saying it wasn't affecting Black Africa, wasn't affecting Haiti, wasn't affecting Black folks. You understand? So you Google it. Don't take my word for it. Because they were lying about we dropping like flies. Demons dropping like flies. I never wore a mask unless they forced me to. But you go in the store, somebody said, you got a mask to get in here. Right? But otherwise, I never wore no mask. Anybody tell you? Because I know it wasn't affecting, because the scripture says it doesn't affect us. It affects them. So why are you wearing a mask, Farrakhan? You say you control everything. Because you're a demon, because it will kill you. It killed one of your top ministers, one of your top demon ministers. It will kill you. That's why you're wearing a mask, because you're a liar. Because if you believe in Abraham covenant, you wouldn't wear a mask. You tell everybody, we got to wear no mask because we protected, because we got the Abraham covenant. And, you'd be saying that, wouldn't you? And plus, you'd be telling everybody in 2019, at least before, there's going to be a plague in 2020 that's going to kill the firstborn. It's the first of 10 plagues. You've been telling everybody that. But you didn't tell anybody anything. Even when your so-called saviors, they came, you didn't say anything about anything. You didn't mention that at all. But then you said, well, nobody knew it was a pandemic to March. Okay, well, say that's a lie, because I was talking about, I got the taste to prove it even before January. See, I said it was coming, and then in January, I was talking about it in January. I got the taste to prove it. Go look at my, right? So, but he said, oh, well, nobody knew. Okay, we'll give you that. But if that's the case, then why? And when you had your so-called Savior Day in February, why did you say this pandemic is going to come in next month? So why did you do that then? But you didn't comment on it, what, until July, 7 months later. Lion dog. So I just point out a few things right there. He ain't produce anything, he's rich. But the Nation of Islam ain't. He ain't produce anything for you. And anybody ever mentioned all the lies that he canceled? When him and Farad, when him and Wallace took down the Nation of Islam? Because they took it down, I was there. It wasn't the FBI, they did lying. They took it down and started something called Belialians. They took and liquidated everything they could, because first they went to court, because all the money was in the believers' names. And they said they wanted that money. And Farrakhan had standing, if you know what that means, because he was a top man, he was a spokesman. He had standing to go to court. But he didn't stand for the believers. He stood in the background and let Wallace and them go in there and claim that money belonged to them because that was their father. That's how they got hold of that money. He just said a damn word, because they told him he was going to get some piece of it. And then when they said God, they gave him nothing, threw him into just like a two-bit boy, like he is. So he said he ran away broke. He ran away to Las Vegas broke, trying to get back on stage, shake his ass in Calypso. This is a fact. He even missed that much. He didn't have nothing, because they lied to him, because they knew he was a punk. See, that's why I had to get rid of Malcolm, because they know Malcolm. I'm not taking an excuse for Malcolm. Malcolm's got what he deserved. The point is, they knew they couldn't do that. They couldn't punk Malcolm like that. That's why I had to get rid of him. They knew they could punk this punk. He ain't spent a day in jail. He ain't done nothing. He ain't suffered one damn thing. But he talk all this stuff. He don't even want to speak the truth. Speak the truth what? He don't call devils devil anymore? Why? Because he's one of them. He don't talk about demons. Why? Because then he have to be talking about himself. See? He's a coward. I see him in action. I knew him. I know him now. So they threw him, and then he went back, and plus he was scared because these brothers, they called him Death Angels, they was after his ass because he was bad-mouthing the messenger. He was bad-mouthing the messenger. Said, one thing he like to say, anybody believe the messenger 100% is a fool. So what percentage do you believe in? We got him on tape in a meeting saying, saying we got him on tape saying his father's his father and his father's parents on the paternal side, right? Portuguese Jews, white Portuguese Jews. That means his father had to be a white Portuguese Jew, right? That means he's a Jew. He said he raped his mother. That's why he tried to abort his ass 3 times. All these signs are right there, brothers and sisters. Everything they say about him. So I'm just giving cover. I'm giving little, right? Little warning to the old stick. Y'all get out the way. Fireworks get ready to go down. We ain't shooting. We ain't going to kill and shoot nobody, right? But he's about to get thrown out. It's been a big thing going on there in a few more days. Big conflict going on in a few more days. They're gonna throw his ass out. They ain't gonna kill him. They're gonna throw his ass out. He got more. We got a special plan for him. But he gonna be killed then. They gonna throw his ass out. I guess he be rolling down shoes, in a wheelchair, and throw down wheelchair. But he's gone. And you see me right here. I'm gonna be there. That's why I'm doing this right now. See, futuristic. See, let you know that I knew I was going to be there before I got there, because I'm telling you things before it happened. I'm not CNN and Farrakhan. Watch the weather and tell you everything after the fact. Like this war. He's telling you this war is going to take place in Europe. That's wrong. That's why I call it race to Armageddon. I said, no, that's not the way it's going to happen. Angel tells the war in the Middle East is going to break out first. That's going to trigger the war in the Middle East, in Europe. He has no idea what that's all about. It's not going to be a nuclear war over here. So I'm gonna leave that alone there. So I could talk about this a lot of stuff, right? But I said enough right there. He's lying. He's not fine. Like, no way. They have changed all the lessons. They got the devil. They can recite that stuff. They have the devil recite, I'm a skunk of the planet Earth. Then I can marry a sister, or I can marry a brother. That's racial mixing, right? I mean, if they come in, they'd be a brother or sister, wouldn't they? We got plans for them. And you know what that was up in there? Whoa. So I'm just telling you, brothers, to give you fast warning. Get out the way. Don't get in the way. Change is coming. Getting ready to create some future. Create some time. See? A future without them. Says what it says. It says who the son of who the Lord will consume with the spirit of his mouth and destroy with his appearance. Okay, so let's move on here. The Time Lord. Let's see what this is about here. Time Lord. Okay, this might be a little interesting to some of you, because I very seldom talk about this. I've never talked about it. But I thought somebody might find it interesting. I'm not trying to prove anything. It might be interesting. Because somebody told me, man, why don't you tell people? So, I mean, I'm not interested in this. I mean, it sounds like you're trying to make something up, trying to prove it. And we're not trying to convince you of anything, brothers and sisters. Get it straight. Don't get it twisted. We ain't trying to convince you of anything. We're just putting information out there. You decide if you want to go to the single route, that's tribulation, or you want to go first class. And that's why I'm going to pull you out of here. Because right now, you're in the eye of the hurricane. They got you sitting in the eye of the hurricane where it's quiet. They're doing it on purpose. Because that hurricane ready to move and tear your ass up. But they don't want you to think, if they load you the street, that said it'll come to you as a snare. They don't want you to know what's going on. They want you to think everything's cool. So you sit around here, vaping, smoking, getting high, little crack, little coke, little heroin, right? See? Little vodka, got your honey one side, maybe a couple of them. See? Got your BMW outside. See? Got your little job over there, Mount Burger King somewhere. See? Little apartment somewhere. See? You cool, man. I got chitlins on the stove. See? Your hell is raging all around you. The whole world's coming apart. You sit around, man, hey, man, I got NBA on, man. I'm going, hey, come over, man. We're going to watch the game. That's what they want you. Because they're getting ready to get rid of you. But Master Muhammad's going to, I didn't, it took 64 years, 5055 to 1619, to transform you into a Negro butt. Negro butt. That's why you think like you think, act like you think, talk like you think, act like you act, talk like you talk. A Negro butt. Biological robot. Programmed to self-destruct, to obey master, not ask any questions, do whatever you're told, love master no matter what. That's what you are. See? Because what's your name? That shows you a Negro butt. Because they gave you a name, but it was a brand. They called you Amos Jackson. Jackson was the name. All the slaves, had 100 slaves, all of them was Jackson, because that was a brand. And so he said, Master Jameson, the name became Amos Jameson. And then you still wear it. That's how I know you're still Negro butt. You still got the cross around your neck, Negro butt. That religion's totally against you. It took your religion. What do you have? They say you're free. Tell me how you're free, bro. Tell me how you're free. Tell me what measure are you free? You have your own language? Excuse me? Oh, why are you speaking English? Where's your, is that your language, your people? That language, your ancestors? Why are you speaking that? What is your language? You don't know. Okay, why is your name Charles? Is that name black folks? Where you come from? Name your ancestors? Well, why are you wearing that name? Why you calling yourself Charles? Where is your country? America. This is their country. How you get here? Are you free? I mean, why you got to work every day? Why you got to work every day? That's what you're doing your own plantation. Now you have to plant. You still working for them, making them rich. How much you getting? I'm making $10 an hour. I make $50 an hour. Really? He making $1,000 an hour for your dumb ass. Because you're still on the plantation. That's what I call a plant. So what do you got? That car. You're paying note on it, ain't you? And you're paying rent on your house, ain't you? So what do you got? What do you got? Free to do what? Kiss their ass. You got not a damn thing, nothing. Free to do what? You got your own land. You got your own culture. You got your own laws. If you disobey them, what happens to you? They whip your ass, throw you in jail, don't they? They execute your ass. So who you obeying them, ain't you? They ain't obeying you. So when you're free of what? Free to be a damn fool and to kiss their ass. That's the only free you got. Still a slave. Slave. What's the industrial slave look like? Actually, what does an industrial slave look like? You was an agricultural slave and had your chains. You had to pick cotton. That was the nature of the economic system. Now you got industrial economic system and you got AI economic system. So what's the nature of slavery in that environment? It's just what you are. You're a damn slave. Anyway, Thomas Jeffrey Lee. Now my mother father gave me that name when I was born. I never identified with got to the slave master's name. I never even looked at find what it meant anything, right? My mother, she passed when I was 9, but she was telling people I was something special about me. And I was different. I mean, even then I was going to the library, I was doing stuff that, reading and stuff, and I wasn't the normal. But she was telling people that, and they gave me his name here. I don't use it. I got rid of it as fast as I could, because to me it was just slavery. I never really considered it. And then one day I looked at it and said, well, let me look at this name. This is what I found. So I don't know if this means anything. No, I don't, I'm just saying it because someone told me, why don't you just say it? I'll say it. I haven't done any deep science to find out if it means anything in particular. But it's interesting. It is interesting. Okay, Thomas. Now look it up. Now it says, Thomas is actually one that was one of Jesus' disciples that he actually entrusted gospel with. Well, read it up. I ain't putting the church and everything here. But it says, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. So Thomas believed in him. See, blessed they have not seen it yet, have believed. So in other words, if you don't see him and believe, that's even, that's powerful. Because Thomas did see him. Some people call him Down Thomas because he wanted to see. He wanted some facts. The Thomas wanted some facts. They call him downtown. He wanted some facts. That's what he said. I see. Now, okay. Because he wasn't going for the hype. He wasn't going for the bullshit. Look, don't give me no bullshit. I want to see. I want some facts. That's why they call him Down Thomas. Right? So he wants the facts. Then when he got the facts, he said, yeah, okay, I'm down with it once he got the facts. Because sight, that's a fact, right? But he's also called a twin. He's also called a Jesus, twin of Jesus. What does that mean? Jesus had a twin? He had a twin. What does that mean? See? So it'd be just like Jesus. Because he was the identical twin of Jesus. What does that mean? I said, I looked at it, what does that mean? See? See, that's what Thomas means, a twin. That's another definition of it, a twin. So I'm not gonna put anything on this. I just said somebody mentioned it. I said, okay, I'll put it out there because I mean, it was interesting. I looked at it, it was kind of interesting to me, but like I said, I'm not going and attribute anything special. I'll let you do that. Then Jeffrey, I looked at that. It says it means God's peace or the pledge of peace. Prince of Peace. Twin of Jesus, Prince of Peace. Mean anything? I was always curious about the name anyway. I said, where did you get that name from? My father, I think he died a Muslim because he took me into Temple 25 just before he passed away. I think about 12 years old. I didn't know what was going on. I had no idea. Right? I knew when he grabbed me up one day, hey, he took me in there with him. I wasn't dressed in anything. I was still, play clothes, right? He took me up in there. The only thing I remember is that the brother, he was like, he had a big gap between his teeth. He said, one Armageddon would take place in the 70s. This was like 61. So a lot of them used to teach one Armageddon would take place in the 70s. Used to teach that. That didn't happen. I got some reasons. I can explain some things about that, but I'm not. I know I like change after that because my father, he was hard on the hog. There was another part about the hog we eat. You ever heard of mountain oysters, pig brains, and eggs and all. He was hard. He's gonna be Thomas. Well, every time I know, boy, I knew who he had some kind of. And I didn't like hog back then. I mean, I didn't know anything about it. I eating it like that, but I just didn't wasn't up on it. Especially kind of stuff that he was in. Mountain oysters, those, you know what it means. And one of the most disgusting one was scrambled eggs with pig brains. Oh man, I used to dread every time he called me because I know because he was a cook. Right? He had been a cook by profession. He was a truck worker at this time, but before he met my mother, he was a cook, right? So like I said, things started changing, and we stopped eating so much. I think we started eating pork altogether. I didn't realize it until I thought about it after I got back. I realized that because I didn't know the difference between pork and the other meat, just meat. Then I realized, hey, we stopped eating that stuff and everything after, before he passed away. I didn't know why. And then Mom told me once I got back, oh, you doing that same thing your father was doing. That's how I knew that he was actually processing from her. Found out how far he got. So, because he passed when I was 14 in 1963, August 21st. He passed August 21st, 1963. I got next exactly 7 years later, August 21st, 1970. Exactly 7 years later. Those sevens followed me like a. Born January 21st, 3 times 7, 1949, 7 times 7. Right? Got an X when I was 21, 1970, 10 times 7, 21. Right? August the 21st, right? I got Chicago. I lived in Chicago. Man, was time I was 21. Those sevens, they follow me like they like haunt me. I can go a lot more with that. And then the last name. What does the name Lee mean spiritually? In Celtic baby names, the meaning of the name Lee's healer. So that's what those names mean. It meant something. It meant something to somebody. I'm not going to put anything on that, brothers and sisters. I don't want anybody to put anything special on it either. Somebody said, man, you should mention it to people. Like I knew. A lot of stuff I'll talk about this. But first of all, I try to weigh it, see if it's going to have any mean anything to anybody. It's going to move the needle. But the needle is moving because the world is changing. Everybody's listening, studying, knows the world's changing, and it's becoming more and more focused every day to what the angel's saying and what I'm teaching. Because the point is, the angel's out of software, but you have to upload it. It's just self. You don't load, do nothing. And then once you upload, you got to apply it. You got to start speaking it. Because remember, your thoughts just thoughts. Unless because what you voice them. That's pressure waves. Pressure waves. Your ear hears the pressure waves and it turns into your thoughts. It's all prop pressure. So once you start talking it, then you start putting out there atom bombs. ATTOM. So that's why it's moving the world. The world is changing because of the angel. Angel's bringing a new reality and bringing down this reality. See? Who's doing that? Suleiman is doing it. So every time, old time at Oprah Seal, this happened. He's doing it. And anybody that's taking and applying themselves online, they're also cause resonance, amplifying it. See, so there's the people that work with me, they're amplifying it. See, but I can do it by myself. See? But they're amplifying it. Because I never asked anybody to help me. Everybody tell you, no one's ever came to you and said, tell you, I never asked anybody to help me, asked anybody to give me any money, anything. Because I can do it myself. I prefer to do it myself, actually. Because I started dealing with those people, I started doing personal stuff, and this and that, distractions, and I don't want to be down with that. And then see they for real, it ain't for real. Gotta motivate them. I'm not motivating anybody. See, Elijah Muhammad, he took and motivated people. In other words, they had the engine, but he pushed it. He pushed the FOI. He pushed them. And so when he stopped pushing, they stopped. So Farrakhan took over. See, I'm giving you the engine. I give you the fuel. Now, if you either take that fuel and start moving, or you lay there, I'm gonna give you the fuel. I'm not pushing anybody anywhere. I get really hot when put people in that position. Because if I'm looking for gods, I ain't looking for the dead weight. So if you ain't self-motivated, you got the fuel. You got the fuel. So now if you don't move, then get out of my way. Because you're not connected with me. I don't want anybody around me. I don't want anybody around me that's dead wood. Because it reflects bad on me, it reflects bad on the message. See? Because if you see you around, you got dead wood around, you say, well, the message must be dead too, man. Now, if you ain't motivated 100%, you out of here. See? Ain't no second chances. I'm not gonna sit around, oh man, come on, encourage you, come on. No, I ain't gonna do that. Elijah Muhammad did that. I ain't gonna do it. He didn't do it. He didn't do it that much either. Because you did what you're supposed to do, but you got the hell out of here. But he had meant the lieutenants, they meant to move you. I'm not gonna tell you that. I'm just saying, here's the information, now watch it. If you ain't moving, you gotta go. You get away from around me. Get away from around me. See? Sometimes depending on the person, I can do that. Sometimes I'll say, okay, give you a warning. See if I see, because you see, you might be a little, confused or, something. So I'll give you a warning. I see, because, but that's it. After that, that's it. No time to mess with that. Too many people out here, because my whole mission is to get our people together, and I can't wait through that. Waste time with you. Oh man, I gotta encourage you. Gotta see what you're doing. Are you up on this? Because if you motivated, because the point is, you hurting yourself anyway. Because let me say it, brothers and sisters. This is brand new reality. All this going to be given to Master Muhammad. But you have to create your own reality. So those people that study Angel and they doing it, they create their own reality. They ain't doing it. If you sit in your hole there, you ain't creating your own reality, so you're gonna be lost anyway. You got to create your own reality. Master Muhammad, he's the God. He's in front. He's laying the foundation. See, I'm giving you the fuel, software to keep up with him. But if you sit there and you ain't gonna create, then you dead. You ain't creating your reality because nobody's gonna create your reality for you. Nobody's gonna create your reality for you. You gotta create your own paradise. See? But now we got a conflict between the two. Remember, we got a war going on right now. The war's been going on since 1990. You got a war going on, but he had this war. Elijah Muhammad had a war going on too, but this is stage 3. See, Master Muhammad started the war. Elijah Muhammad took it up, and now it says that Suleiman would finish it off, right? Because that's where the seals are broken, and then he going toe to toe with the beast. This is war. He's destroying his whole foundation because he's destroying it at the root, the whole ideology, all of it, his whole reality. See, so you got a conflict. They're fighting, but they're weakened because they're weak. They're losing because they're crying, but they're still fighting. Their ideas. They're trying to hold on to reality, and demons are fighting too with them. They want the same reality too. There's conflict between them two because Master don't want to give control to the demons, and demons want it. And so they're gonna fight. They're gonna be fighting each other. So I thought I'd just mention that, brothers and sisters. Oh, okay, we're gonna lock it up here, brothers and sisters. This is this right here. What does that mean? That's hell. And see, most of you don't, none of you probably know what hell is. You think someplace under the ground, whatever. The Quran tells you that in hell, said every time their skins are burned off, Allah will give new skins. What does that mean? That means they're really healthy. So healthy that they're healed from burns. Burns, they were healed from burns. They heal from anything. Because see, I said every 50 years we get this, the universe is contracting now. So every 50 years we get an energy wave, and we energize. We get a wave that says in the Quran, it's momentous in the heavens and earth, but it comes to you but of a sudden. That means every 50 years we get this, they call it jubilees. Every 50 years we get an energy wave because the universe is contracting and all the energy that's out there is coming back. We get waves every 50 years. So it's absorbed by the earth, but it says momentous in the heavens and the earth, but it comes to you all of a sudden. So in other words, it's absorbed by the earth, and the earth transforms it to form we can use. We're in the process of that now because every 50 years, because the first time we got one was 1860s, and we energized enough to break out physical change. White folks would give us nothing. We broke them, right? Because we caused that energizing that gets into thought pressure. So again, I'm not going to say right there, right? But we caused that war, right? They didn't do it for us. That was from their point of view, they were doing it for a totally different reason. And we broke, I speak like that, we broke our physical change. 50 years later, mental. It was a kind of conflict between Eurocentric and Afrocentric. See, because we had a demon problem back there. Because you had people that wanted to get away from white, the master, and people want to stay on sharecroppers. They want to stay with master. People want to get the hell away from them. And 50 years later, you had the same thing. You had Eurocentric and Afrocentric. Booker T. Washington, all those folks, right, they want Eurocentric. Well, we got to think like white people, act like white people, all that kind of stuff. And Marcus Garvey and Noble Drew Ali and Elijah Muhammad, man, we want to get the hell out of here. See, that's conflict with demons. That's 50 years later. And music corresponds to that. Look it out, brothers and sisters. You think this is just something I made up? When the blues came out, 1860s. When did jazz come out? We started getting jazzy. 50 years later. 1910s, 20s in that area. And then when the soul come out, 50 years later, the 60s. 1860s, 1960s. Right? And then social change, another movement. You had 3 movements here. The first one happened off the plantation. The second one, right? Eurocentric, Afrocentric, right? Did that movement. Marcus Garvey and those guys, right? Then you had another movement again in the 60s. You make this up. And then you had new music then too, right? Blues. I mean, not blues, or soul. And then you had the conflict then. Integration, separation. You see the pattern, brother, says this is all mathematics. It's all mathematics. And now we're 50 years later. So we got a big movement through that energy, hits us. It says, movement you in heaven's earth, but coming above a sudden. And when it hits us, because our movement's already started. See? So you're going to be transformed just like that. But this time, it's going to be a total separation. They're going to stay here, we're leaving. That's what it says. Michael will take us away, and we'll leave them behind. But they energized too. We're going to be said be transformed and twinkle lives. So will they. They're going to be energized too. They're going to have a lot of energy. It's going to affect them more than us because of the energy deprivations dynamic I told you about. I'm not going to talk about here. See? So they're going to be very, it's going to great healing and stuff for them. But see, at that time, that's when we're going to take them and lock them up into Northern Europe, way up by Siberia someplace. That's where hell is going to be. We're going to lock them up there. And we know who the guards are. I already told you the guard. I'm not going to mention it again. But they're going to be, the Quran said, strong guards. Lock them up. Have lock them. They're going to be able to get out. See, and we're going to do them the same did us. See, as the Quran said, and the Bible says, we leave out with great wealth. That means if we have a great wealth, we have wealth. But the point is, they was controlling the quality of our wealth. So in other words, instead of having $1 million gold mine, they made us have $1 million shit farms. So we had a lot of wealth, but they were controlling it. See, because like as far as mathematics is concerned, everything's mathematics. If you live in one of those housing places where you got 200 units or whatever, what mathematics is concerned is you live in a mansion with a lot of your friends around, with a lot of rooms and stuff. See, well, so far mathematics concerned, that's you balance. You don't understand that. See, while they live in a mansion, 2 miles around, everything, air and everything else. See? But then you got this big man, and you don't see that. See? So we getting this shit because the symbiotic relationship want to go into all the detail. See? Just like was in plantation, right? They fed us shit to eat, shitless. I talked about that already. They fed us shit to eat, literally, because they control the nature of our energy. We all get the same amount of energy, but they control the nature of our energy. See? So in other words, instead of having, like remember redlining, they control where you live and everything else. They control it, so they control the left. So in other words, instead of letting us eat food, ready for them, they eat shit. Still ate, still got calories, got nutrition, but with shit, shitless. So it says that they have done shall be done. That's the same thing. We're gonna put them in there, and we're gonna restrict the nature of their energy because they can have as much energy as we can have. See, but we're gonna restrict the nature of energy. So they're gonna be up there. They ain't gonna let no food under there. They eat shit, piss. They eat each other. Right? That's gonna lock them. That's the nature of health. And it says they're not be able to die because they be so healthy. They're gonna be able to live. That's what it said. The skins are burning off. Them give new skins. They be so healthy up there. That's the last place you'll be healthy at in hell. That is, bosses. So I think I said enough about that. They're gonna be there until they finally. No. It says like Jesus said, the worm will not die. So you understand what that means? That means their sexual drive will be so strong. They'll be so healthy. They're like rabbits. They can't be satisfied. But they ain't gonna have there's no like Quran says there ain't gonna be no connections. So you're gonna have no friends. You're gonna be a loner, pure loner, because you won't be minded about because the person's around you. They're gonna try to eat you. You'll be telling everybody to be afraid of everybody else. Women gonna be afraid of the men. And the men gonna have so strong desire. They be chasing the women. They gonna be running from them. They got strong desire too, but they know they're gonna get ate. So they conflicted. If you catch her while he's copulating, but he's gonna be beating on her. And make sure you heal her from it. If she have a baby, right? The baby's so healthy, they almost like just like normal. The baby almost come born, almost ready to walk and everything. But if be on his maternal instinct, be strong enough to keep him going for a little while, but then she try to eat him. That's their future. See, how did this future come about? This creation created. See? And if you taking and buying the American dream, that's the future you created for yourself. Because you can't defeat consequence. Master Muhammad and myself are the consequences of what they've done. They actually created us, if you understand the math behind it. We're the consequences. You can't defeat consequence. I'm the judge, he's the executioner. See? We personify everything. So they actually brought us into this because they hadn't done all these things they've done, then we would have came into existence. And then it'd be somebody else, right? That I've been trying to get along with them or something, or whatever. So you can't defeat consequence. But let me say this last thing about, I said before about the tyrant. You better read chapter Daniel again. It says, at that time, while we're still in this eye of the hurricane, you're going to pull out 144,000. They said, then they're delivered. Then there's those sleeping in the dust. Will wait some everlasting life, some everlasting point. But that's read Mark. They had to go tribulation. They weren't delivered. Two categories. That's a original people. You're talking about the devil. So if they make the tribulation, then they accept it. If they make it through it, then they're cool. Right? Let me question. But the other ones, like Ishmael, he's a stone cold liar. He's lying, but he's selling his father's name, everything out for some little house Farrakhan gave him. These other clowns like Silas and all these people, they're gonna meet up with a tyrant. Now, Silas, he probably should know about the tyrant. He's a minister, he should know about the tyrant. Remember the tyrant. The minister called him tyrant. That's the only name he ever told me I heard about. Right? What a tyrant is that when you come out, you're not gonna go and be with people. You're gonna be secluded like in concentration camps. You're gonna go through the same hell that you went through with the devils, and they're gonna be raped and stuff. But you're gonna be oppressed. You're gonna be in a state of oppression the rest of your life. Or you're not be allowed to come in with other people because you was a snake, a viper, right? You're hurting your people. Those that died is because you're blowing your hands. You're gonna be punished, severely punished. But your children will be allowed to come out if they question, they test it. And if they test it and they certify, the question, vent it, and you think that they can. But they come up and they get a mark on their head. See, married, you don't talk about that in Mr. Black men, do you? They get tattooed that they were children of these people, are you vipers? See? That says everlasting shame and appallment. And that doesn't end with them because their children have to. So anybody ain't gonna marry them people because that means that they have, so they don't even marry amongst themselves because everybody want that mark. And their children forever will always have to, any children they have, always have to marry that mark if they was children of these people. That's going to be everlasting shame and appallment. That's what's in fair store for you, Ishmael. They largest grandchildren. Well, from the point of view, from the 25th century, you are my children. But if you go, what's the punishment for a rebellious child? Death. So you're rebelling against your parents, you're rebelling against your nature, against your ancestors. You're making love with devils and all this stuff at the Holocaust. Don't give me that bullshit. Right? That's what you got in store. So look that up, the tyrant. That's what's in store for you. In a few more days, and somebody think, "Oh man, I just killed myself." Think that's going to end up? Okay. You better read that again. When we're talking about Escalades, how you compare that with what it says in the Quran? Where it says, tell me how you make life after death. It take 4 birds, chain and incline to you, and call them, they come and you're flying. What does that mean? You get 2 sets of chromosomes from your mother and 2 from your father, 4 birds. Then you learn to study them. You study them. Then you put them on all the mounts, all your other relatives. They got your sister, your brother. They got your genes in them. All of them got a piece of your genes. Once you know how to put it together, right? There you go. Think about it. Okay, brothers and sisters, go ahead and kill yourself if you think that's going to get you out of here. You ain't getting away from the damn thing. You can't escape consequence and you can't destroy consequence. Consequence, indestructible, inescapable. And that's a fact. think that's it, brothers and sisters. That's it. Yep, that's it, brothers and sisters. We're gonna leave it there. Thank you for listening. This goes out my audience. This is the Black Alert segment of the Fire Zone. Thank you for listening. Fire Zone out. But video audience, thank you. Remember the Holocaust, brothers and sisters. Remember, don't let them tell you about the slavery stuff. Okay. So that's just the economic part of it. Capitalism. And when they come and tell you, don't be teaching my children that CRT stuff, well, ask them, what was your teaching our children for the last 40 years? What teaching our children for the last 40 years? Assalamu alaikum. Okay, right here. Okay.